we're so happy to see you again this time in 2024. It's been a whole year since we saw you guys for the last time, but we're very excited to greet you. We hope that you're enjoying the new year and everything is going well for you. Hopefully, you'll be able to finish all of your New Year's resolutions this year. Yes. But anyways, today we have something really fun to talk about. Last time we were more like onto something quite serious, but this time it's gonna be all fun and yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna give the word to my co-host Dana, and yeah. She's gonna talk about what's on today's agenda.
Thank you. Hi, Giri. Today, we are going to talk about not only fun, but I think interesting topic, very practical, very relevant, very commonly discussed, and also it's going to be very educational. Basically, we thought that maybe we should analyze the relationship advices, but this analysis will be like a masterclass on argumentation. So you will see so these videos that we will discuss, they will be like an example of the argument that you will see, and we will explain what is wrong with this argument, basically.
For free.
But the videos, this is the perfect example because you don't have to have like some expertise, some like specific knowledge about some certain topics. It's very common for all of us. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, and I think this again on to about the thing that you said that we don't have to be like experts in that, because this is such a topic where no matter what type of an expert you are, it's too difficult because people are by nature difficult. So
yeah, true. Actually, if you will if you will think this way, it's like the social studies, and it's very difficult to come up to some conclusions, because even within these studies, when people do the research, the experiments, they can't like conclude that this is the solution, because there might be not enough people or something. The experiment itself, the setting is not enough to prove the point for the majority of the cases.
Yeah, there are so many aspects to include into like a research. So one research cannot like cover the whole population of the earth. It's it's too tough.
Yeah, so that you can, I think you already understand by this video what kind of videos we're going to show you now. They're like the headings are also very clickbait.
Clickbaity, yeah. That's true. Yeah, but let's see.
Maybe start with the other one. Oh, no, not this one, please. Oh, this one.
Yeah, so we're going to show you the first video. I guess you're going to share multiple videos of this guy, right? If
Yes.
I'm not mistaken. All right, so we're here for a journey. So let's see what he has to say. And as you can see from the title, from the hashtag, it's a dating advice. So let's see what kind of dating advice this established gentleman can share with us.
It's also interesting that I think every video of his has this kind of hashtags. Some of them are dating advice, some of them dating advice for women, and he has so many videos. I have no idea how he comes up with the content. It's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
let's see.
I've noticed that in a relationship, the emotional part of the connection hits way later for the guy than it does for the girl. And I don't know why. The girl will usually develop feelings pretty quick, pretty soon, right? Especially if there's physical intimacy. But for the guy, that always hits a few months later. It's always happened to me. It's happened to my friends. It comes out of the blue like a truck. I mean, it feels like you get shot in the heart in a good way, obviously. But you start caring more all of a sudden. You start worrying more. You start wanting to be more protective over them more than you've ever been in the entire relationship, because you hit this point where you're like, holy crap, I see this person as the most beautiful thing in the world, as a whole person, versus just the girl you're talking to. It's crazy. It happens every time. It's this weird flip in your mind. And I feel like as a guy, that's when you know you're actually in love, right? You all know what I'm talking about. And I think it always hits later for us guys because it takes us longer to build up an emotional connection, right? Guys are all about physical intimacy at first. It takes us longer for our brains to actually become attached. So it's always a good type of punch in the gut when it happens, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I've noticed that.
So let's have the desk to discuss. So first, what did he say? Basically, he said that his argument was guy, oops.
Yeah, it hits like a truck months later.
Yeah, guys, fall in love later, right? And suddenly, let's see. At first, he didn't like give the explanation why. He just said this point, then he said, can I duplicate it?
Yeah.
First he said that later, as in some kind of explanation. He said, on the contrary, like girls
Girls
fall
fall off very quickly,
pretty
especially after
quick.
physical
Yes.
something physical happens.
And he doesn't explain like why, how, like he just it's like a fact and he's just stating the facts. Okay, next, what he said, I think the next part, it was mostly like the explanation of how you realize you fall in love, which is not proving any of these points. Like he's basically explaining how,
without any explanation.
yes, how does falling in love feels. And he said stuff like, well, you start to care a lot, you start to think, and so on and so forth.
But you can press on the arrow, I think, and it will create a new like window. See 4 arrows on the 4 sides. So you can press on the
Okay.
arrow.
Oh, that's great.
And there is a connection now.
Wow. So as so far from what we remembered, what he said, we wrote everything that he said, and we see no connection whatsoever. I mean, the connection which will explain this point. But what we see, what he explained next, I think later on he said, this happens because, and it was so stupid. He said, we need more time. What did he say? Do you remember?
I'm not very sure, because he kept like going on a tangent and like, I don't know, saying unrelated stuff, but I was just laughing at the comment.
In a relationship, the emotional part of the connection hitting more all of a sudden. You start worrying in the entire relationship because you hit this point where you're like, holy crap,
Yeah.
I
it's not
see this
here.
person as the most beautiful thing in the world. It's crazy. It happens every time. It's this weird flip in your mind. And I feel like as a guy, that's when you know you're actually in love, right? You all know what I'm talking about. And I think it always hits later for us guys because it takes us
See here,
longer to build.
because it takes us
Yeah,
longer to build up
build-
an emotional connection. Again,
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah, but
it's so
the fact that he said it takes us a month, like month,
yeah.
literal month, and he kept saying like, oh, it's just like a very sudden realization. This is the most
Yeah.
beautiful person I've seen in the world. But to me, I'm not sure it makes much sense. It's just, I don't know. It feels like maybe he's implying it, maybe he's not. Maybe it's just how the reality works. But if it takes somebody like so much time to realize that maybe this person was not really much into you to begin with, maybe he's seen other people, and then he's like, okay, now by comparison, right? I can say that the person A was much better than the person B, C, and D. And now I'm going to go back to her months later, even though now she doesn't want me anymore. So to me, it sounds a bit unfair, you know? Maybe it is fair seeing other people and etc. But I'm not sure what he's implying. But anyways.
I think it was even simpler than that. I mean, this is the point that he was trying to prove, this one. Like, guys fall in love later and suddenly because they like take longer to build up emotional connection. He doesn't specify like why and how long it will take. And we also don't know the reasons why it's so. He's just saying, I think later on he literally says like, it's our brains. Like our brains work that way. We kind of think slowly.
Yeah, can I please see the research, the articles he read about the human nature, about the male nature?
Yes, even without the research, how can you say like this stuff like takes us longer to build up?
Yeah.
And I also think that building emotional connection might also take longer, like for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. It just sounds very anecdotal, you know. It's as if he's speaking from his own personal experience, but he's making it look so, it's a fact.
Yeah.
It's a general
Yeah.
fact for everyone.
Yeah, the problem with these videos is that they are like giving you this information like it's the only truth and like it's the fact, and we will help you once you know this. Now you're prepared and now you know what to expect. But in reality, they're just, it might be true. It might be true, like that it will take for some people to longer time to build up this emotional connection, but it doesn't mean that all men does that. It doesn't mean that, no, you know, what I was trying to say, that it doesn't work like for all the cases. You can't just generalize everything that easily. And the most funny part about this, so do you remember, right, that he said it will take months, that you will never know, that it's so sudden and it's so unpredictable, and it will take longer.
I think it's even more unpredictable than my mood swings because of my cycle.
The same creator makes the video that contradicts this first claim. Just I think when you make so much videos, you just doesn't you don't realize that you contradict yourself over and over.
Okay, let's see it.
If you're a girl and the talking phase lasts longer than 3 months, then what are you doing? The talking phase should only last 3 months max. And if the guy continues to lead you on and he doesn't make anything official, then you need to walk away. If he genuinely liked you and he was into you, he would probably wait 2 months max himself. But the fact that he's waiting 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, even 6 months means that he just wants to keep his options open. And there's a good chance he's considering other options. He's even seeing other options, and he just wants to have his fun still. He doesn't want that label of the relationship, so he's still set free to do whatever he wants. And having that talking phase last for half a year, even a year, is way too long, and feelings are going to get hurt. And while yes, the boundaries are never clear in the talking phase, if he's out just hooking up with a bunch of different people, then that's a big red flag too. You need to make sure that the guy that you are talking to is actually serious about wanting to be in a long-term relationship with you. Otherwise, the talking phase is going to last forever. Talking phases that last forever usually means that there are other people involved, especially if it is past that 3-month mark. If you're a girl and
So you see.
Yeah, so I kind of predicted this video even before I watched it. Remember when I talked about like having options and the guy's taking a long time to like deciding who to date or not, which is again, I guess if it's not like a serious thing going on, yeah, it can make sense that you can obviously explore different things, different people, right? And then see whether you're more comfortable with one type of a person or the other type of a person. It's okay, it's fine, like there is no judgment in that. But again, we're talking about like committing to something, right? And yeah, it's just, as you said, it seems like he's contradicting himself. First, it takes months. Just trying to just justify the guys, and then in the next one, okay, he's playing you. Like, get away, girly.
Well, he might be right, but the thing, but it's so funny that he said like, give us some time, like we usually think longer, and that's why we need more time because our brains doesn't realize up until some point. But now he's like, 3 months max, don't wait longer, because within 3 months he knows everything. He knows what he thinks about you. He knows is he going to commit or not. If it's taking more, then it's no go.
Yeah.
So again,
oh my God.
Yeah, basically we can his argument is
Bullshit.
No.
I'm sorry, but I know what you're thinking.
His argument was if the stage lasts longer than 3 months, let's say he's not serious, right?
Yeah, you know what's so interesting to me is that every generation kind of starts introducing new dynamics, right? Like new concepts into different things, and dating is one of them. Like, because before like social media, right, messengers became a big thing. Before that, talking stage wasn't that much of a big thing, right? Because people used to communicate face to face, right? And they would like start dating like, I don't know, 2 weeks later, a week later, after they find each other like attractive and etc. But now we can just use these things and talk forever. So I don't know, I'm not a big fan of like the so-called talking stage myself, because I believe in like personal, like human connection. But what do you think? Because I know that it can be quite messy.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about his argument and what he said.
I
I
get it.
can
Sorry for going off topic. But
no,
yeah.
I can comment, I think, later when I will come up with when we will like discuss this a bit more. So
Mhm.
I was thinking that he said, well, if it's take longer than 3 months, it means that he is not serious. I haven't heard like the proper explanation, but I think one of these explanations was like it means that he's seeing other people, right?
Mhm.
So was there anything else specifically saying that why it's 3 months, why it shouldn't be longer than that?
No, not
Uh,
really.
I think the other point that was like implicitly implied, can you say that? Implicitly implied, is the thing that um, 3 months is enough to understand, right, what you want.
Mhm.
So he was implying basically this. Uh, he was saying that if if the guy doesn't understand within 3 months, probably it means that he already understands it. But if he's not making any moves, it means that there is no going to be like any kind of moves. Like you shouldn't expect that.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
this is what his explanation. But again, this explanation based on nothing. Why it's 3 months is enough to understand. Why all the people don't like people have other stuff to worry about, to think about. Maybe 3 months they just thinking about earthquake and stuff. I don't know. Like it
Yeah,
happened
it's
here.
like 21 days habit, or I don't know. It's like putting an expiration date on things.
Yeah,
I don't know like, feel
maybe
about it.
you're not seeing this person every day. Maybe you're not talking that much. I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe you don't have the opportunity to see this person every day. So, like, there's lots of factors that just ignored that might affect your decision to understand like what you want within these 3 months. He's not like
Mhm.
including any of them, and he's saying that don't wait more.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Imagine putting a reminder on your phone like 3 months into the future. Okay, if by this day he doesn't wipe me up or like starts dating me, it's over.
yeah. So I think that of course the decision so what's the basic idea? I think the idea is to like understand when you should maybe stop like talking to them, right? When you should move on. If you would want to give the proper advice, don't just give like number of months of waiting. Maybe
Yeah.
just give some uh behavioral patterns probably that might you lead to think that maybe he's not interested. I think in the case when this person you're talking to is seeing other people, it will be obvious for you. Maybe not really obvious, but you might feel that.
There are
And you,
some hints, yeah,
yeah,
some
and you
things.
shouldn't ignore that feeling. I think we usually we tend to ignore our feelings, or sometimes our feelings might be too much, but still you should trust them to some extent, to not be too much of a delusional, but at the same time, these feelings, they tell you a lot, I think. They tell you, like, when you feel bad after talking to them, it is the sign. When you feel frustrated, when you feel that like you're clinging or something like this, it is the sign to stop. It's not the 3 months mark. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's such a feelings-based thing, and like again, putting some sort of a time period over it, it just doesn't sound very logical. If he would give some, again, advice on like how you're supposed to understand if this person is just playing around, right? What are the clues, like the hints, right? Exactly the behavioral pattern that you talked about, then that would make more sense. But 3 months is just going to confuse so many people and potentially create problems in the future. Yes, and yeah, because why is it so important to talk about this type of like advice, right, that people spread on the internet and they get viral? It's, I think, to make sure that we're raising a bit of an awareness that one solution doesn't fit all the problems. And it's very, it really can ruin some relationships, I think, in perspective. But yeah, I will add more onto that a bit later. So yeah.
Yeah, so it was fun to see that even I already knew about this contradicting point, but hearing from the same person, it's so funny. Like, he doesn't even realize what he's talking about. And yeah, to add to the point, like, I think recently we tend to get more information from the social media, especially from TikTok as well. And you just have to think critically, like, for everything you see, because they might sound, as we will see in the next video, like science-based. They might sound like credible and stuff, right? But in reality, all they're saying is just some made up stuff, and you should listen to them. So let me get rid of him.
You're done, right? Officially.
It's just my computer is dying.
Oh, isn't this the hormone girl?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see.
Least vasopressin, meaning all the girl bosses who are like independent, wanting to do their own thing, they got it. We need to stop. So we want the man that we want. We need to start leaning into her feminine energy. What I'm saying is we're gonna have to start letting the men be men, like at least pretend to let them be a man. We've got a lot of alpha girls out here, which I love. I'm guilty of that. The thing is, men don't fall in love through oxytocin. They fall in love from vasopressin. And how do we increase that? Kind of like the Pavlov theory with like the dog salivating. What we're gonna do is we're gonna let the men do the task. We need to be under a little bit of stress, good stress, not like nagging stress. Like, for example, I know damn well I could put a table together. But what I'm going to do is be like, oh my gosh, can you help me? Like, I don't know how to do it. Let them complete it. Praise them. Tell them how much you appreciate it. There you go. You have literally trained him into thinking he's a man. And also he's like, wow, I'm so smart. I'm so capable. Look at what I did for her. And that releases vasopressin. So basically, like, the theory is we just have to be like, oh, I don't know how to do that. Can you help me? I'm going to eat it up. I'm going to keep doing that. Almost kind of like you're taking advantage of him, but like, you know, that's the only way he's gonna fall in love. And before you know it, he's gonna be doing the dishes for you, doing the laundry for you, he's gonna be putting everything together for you, and also just falling in love with you. Now this makes sense, because now you see all these women and you're like, how does she get that? How does he do everything for her? It's because she's leaning into her feminine energy, letting him lead, be the pack leader, be the provider. I was getting too tired to be the provider. I'm gonna need someone else to lead. So I'm gonna test out that theory, let you know how it goes. We recently learned that.
Please, your thoughts. Did you hear that?
Yes, I could hear it, yeah. it's just, yeah, so many words and no references to the actual, like, I don't know, actual research, science-based arguments. I'm not sure how to do it because I didn't get any how can I say, like, plausible information on how vasopressin actually works, right? Because she doesn't explain it. She just says, oh, this is very important. This is very important. This is like oxytocin for women. Actually, I did start doing a bit of research, but apparently, yes. The one that we found earlier before is just vasopressin. I always forget how to pronounce this word correctly, but anyways, this is vital in like water secretion in the kidneys or stuff. So yes, it like regulates a lot like body fluids, right? I actually found some sort of an article that says that vasopressin can work like in emotional stabilization, like mobilization, and etc., helps support vigilance and behaviors needed for guarding a partner or territory. But it's I find it hard to understand how it could make that much more sense in terms of falling in love. Maybe, yes, it does activate the, you know, like the very male need to support and protect his woman, right? But I just wish that she could explain more and say whether this research is credible or not, because I see a lot of references, but there is no way to tell whether this has been extensively researched, because I think this is also very important. And what a lot of people don't realize, the fact that some kind of a like research paper exists doesn't mean that this information is proved, peer-reviewed, and yeah, you just have to make sure you're using a credible source of information. So that's what I wanted to add.
And also, most of the research needs further research, actually.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because they
yeah.
might prove one thing, then when you will dig deeper, it will prove another thing, and you're like, okay, I see.
Yeah, exactly. There are so many factors, like internal and external. It just reminded me a bit off topic, but I remember seeing one TED talk on how on how to be careful with what medication you take. For example, you might take medication for one health issue, right? And then you might be also taking another medicine that you had for another issue previously, right? But if you're not explicit about it with your doctor, these two different types of medicine can actually have a conflict and create another problem. So I think, again, like this medicine is great for this problem. The second medicine is great for the other problem. But how do they work together? Do they even work together? We might not know.
I see.
So yeah, again, there always has to be nuance in things.
Yeah. So basically, first idea that came up to my mind when I watched this video is like, if I would be a man, I would be so offended. Because the stuff she's saying, like, it is even if she's saying about feminine energy, and I don't like videos when they talk about feminine and masculine stuff, because they implying that some traits are feminine and some are masculine, without even really explaining like why it is so. But she's saying, let him be pretend. Let him at least to pretend to be a man. I was like, oof.
Yeah. Let him cook.
And she's saying, yeah, as you said already, she's throwing bunch of like kind of scientific stuff, saying that vasopressin, oxytocin, and stuff. You see, we like kind of generate different kinds of hormones. That's why we need different kind of stuff. So yeah, argument goes like this. Since the hormones are different, that's why it means that we fall in love differently, and their hormone is released only in the case when they feel like useful, when they do stuff. They're like, okay, and it when you see the whole picture, it kind of makes sense, because when you think of yourself, I think generally when you think that you're helping someone, of course you will feel good. And if you will be praised for that, of course you will feel good. Like,
I'm wondering, was it like, a more softer way of talking about male fragility or not?
yeah, so and yeah, as you said, no really direct link between these two stuffs. Like, okay, it might make him feel good, okay, but I think it will be like one of the factors that cumulatively with the other factors will make like the final, will do the trick, but it's not the only thing. It's the first point. The second, about that make him even she's saying like, girls, I know we can do everything by ourselves.
Yeah.
But let him open the stupid jar. That's so funny.
Yeah.
And I think if I'm not saying that feeling like having this feeling of being useful, protective, and stuff is not important. It is important, but first, I don't think it is primarily masculine. Why I think that when even women will help you with something, she will feel herself very good if she's feeling like.
What it made me realize, like the parallel, right? Even if we're thinking in terms of those conventional ideas, right, of what is masculine and feminine, women also have like this sort of instinctual need to protect, especially when it comes to their babies, right, their children, their family. They also have this like so-called natural like instinct to protect people. So to imply that it's only a male thing, I think is very misleading.
And the second thing is, it shouldn't be like, okay, you can do this little stuff that I can do by myself, but whatever. I think
let me make you feel useful.
Yes, you can. If you have like someone who is really useful and will help you with the stuff that you need the help with, of course, everything we can do everything, but sometimes we need help. And in that case, and it applies not only for women, I think, but for everyone. And when they really help you, when you really need help, and not just, well, I guess I can give you something to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
It make them feel good, and it make you like benefit from this and also feel good.
Yeah.
So,
and also it's quite deceitful. I wonder how a man in that situation would feel, right? Realizing that his partner has been doing it. It's, almost sort of like a dog training,
yeah,
like,
and like she's not
person.
taking him seriously.
Yeah. It's what was the word? Infantilization of man. Like,
Yeah.
okay, he can't do anything on his own, so I guess I have to give him this job so he can how do you say it? Oh my god, you're sleeping with a man.
Manipulation 101.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So he can at least now feel that he's important, like massaging his ego, right?
Yeah, I think ego is really the case in most of the cases.
Mm-hmm.
That's why maybe it's working. That's why this
Mm-hmm.
advice might be working. But still, come on, if you like this person, can you at least respect him, please? Like,
Yeah, exactly. So let's give them some respect. And
yeah.
also, I think that there can be two different dynamics. This man, right, in question can be a genuinely great person, right? And you are like really doing him dirty by giving him such simple tasks so that he can feel himself like important. Or you could be in a dangerous situation where a man has a very fragile ego that he's gonna have like this emotional outbursts whenever he starts feeling useless, right? And you don't make him feel like secure enough that his ego thrives. So again, it's not good advice in both of the cases. Why would you need a man who constantly needs your validation, right? And why would you treat a great gentleman this way, infantilizing him?
Yeah, true. It was this video. Let's see the next one. Oh, I think we can.
Ladies,
Not
the more expensive you
I was just reading the title. Not everyone can afford you, and that's okay. Expensive taste, high value woman. Hashtag high value man. Hashtag dating coach. Okay, let's see.
look and the more expensive you sound, whether that's through your education, how worldly you are, what you wear, you know, if you're dripped out in designers or you just have like a really elegant look about you, you know who you are, by the way, if you're in this category. The more expensive you look, the smaller your dating pool is going to be. Because a lot of men, while they might pursue you for their own personal ego validation, will have a hard time committing to you because your presence makes them feel insecure. See, men are hardwired to be providers.
Maybe we can write down this stuff because
Yeah,
I
we
think
can
it's
pause.
there are lots of stuff coming up. So
Yeah.
basically, she is saying that the more expensive you look, and compared to other videos, I think she has more like logical links. She's explaining because it's this, because it's this, but it's still she's explaining more than the previous videos, which had like zero base whatsoever.
Yeah.
But still, I think we can like challenge each point. The more expensive you look, it will lead to the point. Oops. That less dating pool. And she's explaining this as well. She's saying like why? Because like men feel insecure with you. And the next she started to explain this point, right, about insecurity. She said, well, because since they are providers. Oh my God, how I lived my life without a provider.
Okay, since
let's see next what she's saying.
And so if they see someone like you, they might feel like I can't provide anything for her that she doesn't already have. Or I can't impress her the way I can impress a woman who doesn't have all those things. So they will go for a girl who...
Okay. Oops. Since they are providers, we can say that they feel, let's say, useless. They could.
Because you already have everything, right?
Yeah, they can't provide more. And as a result, but it's not the explanation. It is, I think, the impact from this point. She's like concluding. So in conclusion, they like pursue other women. So let's see.
Who makes them feel a lot more in their masculine energy. And sometimes it's not about you. It's just about them and their own complex. I've used this example before about Bugattis, right? Bugattis are beautiful, luxury, expensive cars, but there's a reason not a lot of people walk into that dealership because not a lot of people.
Okay, she's providing example / analogy. Like when you provide within your argument the analogy, you also, like, ideally you have to explain why this analogy works exactly like your argument. That's why, like, they work together. But saying that well, Bugatti is not like available for lots of people is not the perfect analogy.
Yeah, because you buy a Bugatti, but you don't buy a woman.
If you have enough. She like continues this point saying that
people can afford them. And even the people who can afford them sometimes feel insecure about, like, the fact that someone could steal the car, or they don't want to, drive around in something that flashy. So I'm not saying turn yourself into a Toyota or a Benz, but don't be surprised when not a lot of people walk into your dealership if you're giving out that expensive vibe, because like I said, the pool is just smaller. Hold out for the right customer. Wink, wink. And no, I'm not objectifying women. Follow for more, and good luck.
So so basically we see the whole logical chain here. The more expensive you look, the less dating pool. This is the statement. This is the argument statement that she's saying. Finally, some good video where we can properly show the structure of the argument.
More connections, right?
Yeah, because in the previous videos there was just nothing, just water.
Exactly.
This is the statement, and she's starting to explain it. You see, they will feel insecure with you, man, because they will feel that they don't have enough stuff to provide, and they have to feel this, like, they have to feel that they can provide, I think, or they just have to provide just for the sake of providing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's again going off of this a conventional model of a relationship where the man is the provider and the woman is like this nurturing person who's gonna take care of the family, right, and etc. But there are multiple like dating dynamics nowadays. Of course, I'm not saying that it's like vastly maybe different than it was 20, 50 years ago. There is still a big difference, but I wouldn't say like all of a sudden like majorly women are the providers, the main providers in the family. I still think that statistically more people are holding on to that like conventional model, but it doesn't mean that the other cases are not true. So but I guess, yeah, I do agree with her point that the dating pool is smaller because there are less people who kind of deviate from this, I don't know what is called to be a standard. But yeah, it's, I just I guess I didn't really like the analogy with Bugatti that much, but we can also discuss it in details. So she says that you might also feel insecure, and kind of it can be intimidating to walk into the Bugatti store, right? Then you can like feel insecure about someone stealing it. I guess you could add that if you're the provider, right, you have to maintain that car, which is also not cheap. So yeah, it goes back to the high maintenance women. Remember, it was also a trend a while ago, and I guess it is true. But maybe she could be more, again, more nuanced in her argument. That it's not everybody's story.
Yeah,
but just some
exactly.
people.
I think the weakest point in her like the argument is probably this one. That they feel that
Since
they
they're the
are,
providers.
yeah.
But
I do see like it might happen that they will feel insecure. But I think it's generally not because they like feel like, oh no, I can't provide, but because of this like male ego, which is
yeah, and also
still
social
the
expectations. Yeah,
yeah.
because when there is a certain expectation, you want
Yeah.
to fit the
Yeah.
picture.
And in the like the status quo that we see now, still woman is like kind of disregarded. They are seen as lower for there's no particular reason for this. That's why I think men, even though like you know all the even though you have the logic, even though you like might think rationally, there might be like as you said some social maybe pressure or maybe some beliefs that how come this woman is more successful than me, I can't handle this. That's why I think that they will feel insecure. But the point about the providers already I think was like rebutted by you when you said that it's changing. It's basically of course it is important to feel like I can do like the important stuff. All people have to feel that they're doing something important so that they would justify like their living. I don't know. So but I've heard this argument in the case of the work, that your work has to be meaningful for the workers, otherwise they don't feel like any purpose and so on. And it's exactly the same. They have to have some purpose. And since this is changing, I think some men are starting to feel like, hey, like, can I just not provide? It's too much pressure for me. Can I just be like house husband? How do you say housewife? House husband?
Yeah, house husband. Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's okay.
Changing. Yeah.
So what's wrong with this argument? She's trying to like generalize it, but she doesn't really differentiate between different groups of people that actually exist. And it's not homogeneous like group of people. It's actually really diverse. So for some of the people, this logic exactly applies, like this one, like she explained, like because he has to feel, there are lots of men who has to feel that they are providing and providing the majority of the like share, not just the half. And this logic will apply and this logic will work. But for other kind of for other men who's like okay to be not providing, or they might not
providing
feel
different things, right? So here we're talking about providing financially, but maybe they can provide with other things, right? Acts of service, emotionally, of other things.
Yeah, and it also, if we are including like other groups types of people, like the different actors. I think even this point about that they will feel insecure is also starting to be questionable. Like, will they? Like, all of them are going to be, I think some of them will be pretty much like fine with it. Like, wow. I remember you
I
said
found
that
my sugar mommy.
yeah, like you have the video where there was like social survey, let's say, on the streets.
Yeah. So would you date out of your league or below your league? We can attach the video and play it for you guys. But yeah, basically, what I think was happening there, they were mostly going off of the looks, like out of your league, so basically more attractive than you, and below your league less attractive compared to you. Not so much about how successful they are with their jobs or in life in general, how financially secure they are, because comments also had like very split like ideas regarding the message maybe of the video, because they were saying, oh yeah, men say that they want somebody out of their league, but then they feel intimidated by women who are more successful than they are and more wealthy, right? But I think a lot of men were thinking of like a smoking hot model, that they would love to date this type of women, right? And take care of them financially, not so much thinking of girl bosses of the world. And the same, I think, goes for women. They were saying, I would take below my league just because I would feel more secure with that nobody, because this, I can be sure that probably this guy is not going to play around, right? Focus only on me, because more attractive men tend to be like players because they get a lot of attention. And that's sort of a valid point, I guess. It is like a general observation, and I can't really argue with that. But yeah, people are different. Just gonna say that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So basically, they might be like not. They might feel confident with you, and it doesn't matter. Are you looking like expensive? Are you sounding expensive? Maybe they just don't care about all of this stuff. If they like talking to you, or I don't know, it also might be the case. Not every time, but sometimes still. So
yeah, that's true.
yeah, and we see that again, as we already said, the whole logic, as it was in other videos as well, they might apply for some cases, but it's not like the fact. It's not like how it works every time, and you might still have the proper dating pool, maybe.
Exactly. And just one more thing. Remember, I already told you it was like just my personal experience, but also opinions from my guy friends about like looking expensive, right? Looking all dolled up, wearing nice clothes, maybe, right? Looking put together, that you might look intimidating to like men. But when you're not, when you're just going like grocery shopping without any makeup, right? Wearing sweatpants on like a t-shirt and etc. Yeah, a lot of guys feel less intimidated, so they feel that it's more comfortable to them to approach you. It was exactly my like experience. I got like hit on more when I was looking absolutely horrible, like no makeup, like having almost no sleep, going grocery shopping and just wanting some food, And yeah, one of my friends said, yeah, because like uh, when you look like your worst or like your natural self, like imagine how amazing you would, how much more amazing you would look when you're dolled up and etc. And guys, like when they see you all naturally right? They feel less intimidated because they see the real side of you, the one that they will see at home, right? Like when you start living together or make a family, and like they know what they're getting into, which I understand, but at the same time, it does sound a bit, I don't know, it makes me feel a bit offended for some reason.
And I think it's also not true, again, not for all of the cases. I pretty much can see how it might happen when lots of guys will hit on the dolled up girls. Just because like it happens all the time. And you can't really so predict what will happen.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's a very superficial thing, you know, going off the looks and making up certain expectations in your head, like thinking, okay, if he looks this way, she's probably this kind of a person. So basically stereotyping a person. Yeah, you never know, especially when doing grocery shopping. There are lots of people, like some people walking in their pajamas, some people are wearing like the highest heels I've ever seen, and so really, if you really want to be yourself, just go grocery shopping, I guess, and you see the real people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
well, but
I also want to add to this provider thing. She also mentioned that it is like the masculine energy, which I'm highly questioning, because what mostly the providing stuff is associated with like taking charge, I don't know, like doing the stuff for others. But again, as you said before, mothers are true providers. How like it can be the masculine energy when the mothers do all the stuff. Like their dads, lots of funny videos when dads don't even know the birthday of their child. They don't know. Like,
oh no, that's so true.
they raising the kids, it's such a complex, huge project for the rest of your life. The long lasting, it's like and you say that, oh, she's so, how can you say after that that it's not feminine to be like the provider? I'm so pissed. People just ignoring all this stuff. People are not considering that it is difficult. It's saying, oh, it's the mother stuff. Oh, it's the like nurturing, and it's supposed to be like caring and emotions and stuff. It's not only about emotions. It's about taking charge. It's about like protecting
being a
everything.
decision maker.
Yes.
Very important decisions.
If you're not a CEO, it doesn't mean that you're not a provider. Come on, like every woman is a provider. All the women I see, like they're all doing this stuff to some extent. Maybe they get the money from their husband, but come on, it's just like financial aid. I don't know.
Exactly, because this is a union, right? Each party like makes a certain type of commitment and also certain types of sacrifices, right? So she fully commits with her time, with her energy, and lots of other like skills that she possesses, right? Which makes sense because when like this project, as you said, right, that takes up most of your time, it's not realistic to expect that this woman will also go and work. Actually, it reminded me of one video. Oh my God. Wow, I need to find it. Actually, this is so like so fitting. there was a guy, oh my God, no, I need to remember better. And after I find it, we can also, I think, talk about it later. But really, it's no, it wasn't the video. Remember, I shared with you like something from Twitter. So basically, it was a conversation between two people. I think apparently they went on a date. I will add I will send you the screenshots later. And then the man was like, "So, you know, I just want to confess something, but I don't think that you will approve of my ideas." And then the girl says, "This is a judgment-free space. Like, you may say whatever you want, and I will listen to you. That is okay. You can talk about it." And then he says, "You know, I think that this traditional gender roles are not for me." Wait, actually, no, he said that he does like the gender roles. So he basically said that women should be at home taking care of the family, right, and etc. And then the girl says, "Yeah, I actually agree with you. I really aspire to be one of those women one day, taking care of the family, making sure that my house is like cozy and like warm, right, and ready for my man." And she said that, "Yeah, I actually really agree with you, and I want my man to provide for me and be there for me." And then he says, "Wow, you're such a gold digger. I didn't expect that from you." And you know, some people want to sit on both chairs, right? So they still want the woman to make the money, right? But they expect her to also be this nurturing person they're longing for. And that is the definition of hypocrisy to me. You cannot expect both things. You just have to choose one. So you can't expect her to like stay at home, like do everything, work and make money, and expect that she won't ask you to also like contribute something into the household, right? So I just, yeah.
I think it
don't know.
majorly happens because they underestimate this housework. They think that
Exactly.
it's something so easy to do, and it will take you just like few hours of your time within a day, and the rest of the day you're just like lying and watching your TV shows.
Yes. Yeah, like, well, you're at home all day long, like,
Yeah,
but
what you're doing.
exactly. I also do work from home, but it doesn't mean that I like feel a sudden splurge of energy at the end of my working day because I've been at home all day. So I guess I want to do something very active. It doesn't work like that. You're still working, even though you're doing it at the comfort of your own house, right? And most importantly, most of these tasks that women take on at home are physical, not even like doing something on the computer, right? And etc. like I do. Yeah, that's
They also
true.
say, "Oh, women are so weak." Let's
Wasn't that
see.
called the second shift, by the way? This like
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
yeah.
And the third shift is when you like do the makeup
Mm,
and stuff. Which
mm,
also takes lots of time, dedication, energy, money,
yeah.
everything. We just
You know what? I just wanted to add on to your comment about, oh, women are so weak. But then they always say, but you are weak. You cannot do it.
yeah,
Women are stronger.
we
So
are defining what's weak and not because we
yeah.
know what true strength is.
Yeah, again, like straight up hypocrisy.
Yeah, breaking gender stereotypes for you.
Yeah.
That probably you already know. So let's see, maybe.
Yeah. And I just wanted to add that we're in no way saying that you should always like go against the gender stereotypes and like create a different household. Maybe you do want this traditional family structure, right? And it's also a point, but what we're implying is that you shouldn't take away other people's rights to do it the other way, or judge them for having a different dynamic. So yeah. So yeah, that's it.
So I think we shouldn't like break down this video as it was with the previous one, because probably it wouldn't have any substantiative like basis whatsoever. Come
Thanks, Ro.
on.
This one just doesn't want to load, right? But actually, we can just divide it into like different videos, just discussing them separately.
So I just heard somewhere that men are more likely to fall in love with a woman when they're actually away from the woman, whereas us women fall in love with the guy when he's right in front of us. Now, this comes down to how women and men process their thoughts differently. Men need that space. Men need that time alone, to be alone with their thoughts, to process their feelings, to start missing the other woman and make that realization of like, oh my God, I'm in love with her. And that's what makes them come back. Whereas women, we need the guy to be in front of us for us to fall in love with him. When we have our sweet talks with them, when they're hugging us, when they're kissing us, when we're making plans for the future, that's where we fall in love. If he's like pulling away a little bit, don't freak out, don't go into overdrive. Give him that space to make the realization that, you know what, I think I'm in love with this girl.
You comment first. Maybe we can skip this video, please.
Yeah, because it's too long. Like,
yeah,
he made like 5 points, but it was just one thing all the way. Yeah, so yeah, what this Aussie girl is saying is just, so we need to give them some space, right, to like sort out their thoughts and make some realizations. Well, basically give them some time. My question is this man asking for that space and the time? Wouldn't it be more logical to like do so in case he explicitly like says or implies like, oh, you know, like I'm just a bit busy right now, so I need to sort things out, or can you give me some space? I just think that I'm not in the best place to do some like big life decisions, probably. Yeah, again, it's very vague. Like, how are you supposed to know when to give the space if you have to overthink everything and think for the other person? To me, it's just complicating things. I don't know.
And I also can say that I can relate to both of the stuff she was saying. Like, I also need some time to think, to process properly. I usually like think not at the time, but after that. I like to take my time. So does it make me like, and she's saying, you know, like we men and women, we think differently. That's why he thinks this way, we think this way, and this is how it works. And I don't know, like already you feel that this argument is wrong because you think like, wait, the stuff she's saying is so general, like I can relate to it as well. But it's easy to say the general stuff because high chances it will be relatable.
Yeah, that's true. And I could kind of agree with the fact that men have a certain mindset and women also have a certain like tendencies, right? Wasn't there a research that women have a wider or more detailed spectrum of like emotion recognition or something like that? That for us it's easier to process emotions, and men are more like how can I say it? Not logic oriented, but they're very straightforward with their like thinking. So they do not complicate things in their mind, and they strive to simplify everything, and to make it easier for them, their thought process, I mean. I could agree with that part, but I don't know how much of an impact it has on like making decisions in terms of relationships. Maybe it does, but is it a major difference? Like the model of falling in love, right? How different it is for women and men. Maybe it is, but again, it's just like my question,
Yeah.
that I have.
I also think that in terms of why we think differently, maybe it's because like some of us practice like the emotional recognition more than the others. Like some of us need to understand, I don't know, maybe just some situations in life that made you practice it more. For men, it's even when they're like hanging out with their friends, I think they don't like put emphasis on this. I even heard, again, it's just like one of the some TikToks that shows only one side, not the whole picture. But they're saying like guys are saying that their friendships like lasts like for lots of years, but the fact is why it's so lasting so long, because they just discuss the football and some
superficial things,
right? Yeah, just their interests. They're not like dealing with emotions of each other and stuff. That's why they don't really have like the ground to like disagree or like get into argument. It just saves you. They don't talk to each other that often. So this was the logic. I don't see, again, it's just some part of the men, right? I also saw lots of watched some videos when they were like discussing something really like, in that case, like what you do and stuff. So they this emotional intelligence trend and everything like affecting everyone, not just women.
Yeah, they're also very much solution oriented, because I feel like, yeah, again, maybe it's a social thing.
Yeah,
maybe it's like the brain thing. I don't really know what's the correct answer, but really I just remember this meme, like someone was sad about it, like sad about something, like, oh, this bad thing happened to me, and the guy asked like, okay, so are you still in the stage of emotionally processing this situation, or can we move on to the solution stage? So yeah, I'm not sure if it's again only the male thing, because it's about emotional intelligence, that you shouldn't meddle with the person going through something, right? And straight up suggesting some solutions to their problems, like, oh, you can do this in this situation, you can do that, right? Because I also used to be that person, like I don't know, you might say something, right? Oh, like this really bad thing happened to me and I feel awful about it, like I'm so upset, and I would be like, why don't you do this or that? Maybe it will make you feel better. But it's maybe not something you're looking forward to. Maybe you're looking forward to some looking to get some support or compassion, right? And not a solution. So
I remember also I had that kind of phase like a bit after I graduated from school, like high school. I remember that I was thinking, okay, I have to figure out like the proper like guide for myself what I have to do in this kind of particular situations. I was thinking that there is some right way for every situation, and I just have to figure out what I have to do. So it was always about how to make it right. It was never about like how I feel. I even remember I went to the like therapist just once. Probably should do it more often, but it was about on my second year of the undergrad, and I was telling her some stuff, and she was saying, "Okay, how did it make you feel?" And I just froze, like, what? How it? I don't know how it make. It's just I usually have like some kind of answer for the questions. I usually tend to. It was never like, I don't know. My mind just went blank. Like, what she's talking about? How it made
You're
me.
like,
I don't
why are
know.
you asking difficult questions?
It's just nothing came to my mind. I was like, I don't know what to say. Imagine this kind of state, the phase when you disregard your emotions so much. Like you feel them, you get angry, you like do all this stuff, but you can't process them because you don't know like what you're feeling at at what time. And I'm not a man to have this kind of brain. I just didn't have the training.
You're just an engineer.
I didn't I didn't have the knowledge, I didn't have the skills, the awareness. That's all it takes to start to like get all this stuff.
And really, even when you kind of can answer this question, sometimes it's so difficult to tell the emotions apart, right? Because maybe it's not so much of an anger, but like you're frustrated, right? Annoyed, maybe you're bitter, maybe you feel some sort of resentment towards another person or the situation, right? So it's so like the spectrum is so wide, and it is really difficult to be able to recognize those emotions. And when you don't, again, when you're not exposed to that kind of thoughts, it is a challenge, a big challenge. So you can be, I guess, maybe more understanding of those men, because unfortunately most of them grow up in a society where that conditions them to completely disregard this very important skill in their life. But at the same time, we also have to like demand this man to learn such an important life skill.
It doesn't give them like the permission to, well, what can I do? It's all like, it's all up to you at the end of the day. It's not the society, not your parents, not your trauma and everything. It's just, if you want, you would change it.
Yeah, it's like blaming everyone for like your trauma, even at the end of the day, maybe someone did hurt you, but you're left on your own, and now it's your responsibility to work on that.
And we've all been hurt, actually. But we did this work.
Yeah, we're doing the job. Yeah, we're not
making some excuses.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's the best way to put it. So yeah.
Well, I think I also wanted to say something, but I don't remember.
Okay. Oh, this girl, right? What was she saying?
I think our video is going to be so long.
Someone needs
Yeah,
to
but
let me know if I am the only one that has noticed that men are not like how they were when our parents were growing up. Like I grew up, I don't know if it's because like the Italian values or what, like I grew up like the man is supposed to take care of the woman. The man is supposed to go up to the girls. Like the man is supposed to have drive and initiate everything. Like I feel like now it's so hard to find guys that like even just in general have drive in life. Like I feel like it's so different, and I don't know, like I personally never get approached. I never. Maybe something's wrong with me, I don't know, but like I feel like then like whenever I like talk about it, everyone's like, oh well, they want the girl to like go up to them. Like what? When did this change? When did this change? Because I want a man. I don't want to be the man. Someone come up to me. Anyways, I just feel like there's no manly men. I just don't think so. I think every guy I've met is like honestly super emotional. And that's fine. Like I'm all about feelings, whatever. Like I'm an emotional person. So like that's okay. But I feel like it's definitely like sometimes worse than girls. Like I'm not even kidding. Like it's crazy. Anyways, so if anyone knows if manly men still exist, let me know. Or if I'm the only one that thinks they don't. I don't know. Someone
Manly men sounds so
Okay.
bad. What's your ideas on that?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I told you about the approaching part and etc. I do kind of feel her, and I can sympathize with her, and I also think that this dynamic is changing. Do I like it? Not so much. But as you said, we just have to kind of deal with that, I guess, now. But I don't like her delivery, I guess. Like, yeah, I just said manly man, and when she talked about the men she met before, she's like they're emotional and sometimes they're even worse than girls. I don't know, it felt like
Worse
a
than the
personal attack.
girls.
Yeah, worse than girls. It felt like a personal attack on both sides somehow. How can you manage to offend everyone with one statement? But yeah, just didn't like her delivery, but I do know what she means. I just wish she would have worded it better.
Yeah.
Maybe say, yeah, I'm frustrated by this trend. I don't really like it. I want it to be like to stay all traditional. Yeah, and somebody to be like this like confident person who comes up to me, initiates things, right? So I can feel like secure, right? And like see that this man can like take charge, right? Which is important for some family dynamics. But yeah, felt like a big roast. Some guys.
Yeah, in terms of argumentation, there was none. No, I mean,
Well, I think it was again more of a like a personal ideas
yeah,
being
yeah,
shared.
I can. I was just joking.
Yeah.
I wanted
But
to say that in terms of argumentation, she's making one of these like most common logical fallacies when she's basing the argument on her personal experience mostly.
Yeah.
Like the whole explanation was just I just don't get approached personally, and and probably she has heard from some of her friends. This made her confirm this idea, but she doesn't like recognize that there is confirmation bias as well. When we are exposed to lots of information, but when we see the information that proves our point, we're not like estimating how the percentage of this information compared to other one. We are just saying, it's exactly as my point says, and again and again and again. That's why my point proves like it's true. We really believe like it's that. But this just like we're discussing how she explained it, right? But we're not saying that it's not true. It is actually true to some extent. We even have the video, right, about it. But again, the video that we have, they are not explaining the numbers where they come from. They're not explaining how these numbers were like, how made they come up to this.
How it was retrieved, yeah.
Yeah, did they like survey 100 people, 1,000 people, million people in US only?
Yeah.
Maybe in some other parts we have nothing, but it's like some kind of piece of information that we can consider, but we can't base the whole like the argument on that, right? I think
and what makes it even more difficult is that surveys are very like one of the most unreliable statistics, right, that you can get. It's an unreliable method of like gathering information, because people can always lie. They can do it even without realizing it. Maybe they think, okay, yeah, I guess I should choose this option, but at the same time, I feel like the other option. So it's very difficult to be objective of a question. And how to gather data on such a, like, you know,
social
emotions based social thing, it is difficult. Yeah.
So basically we'll never know, but here is some statistics.
Yeah.
86% of women say they want a man to make the first move. A different study said that 50% of men say that they're afraid of making the first move for being seen as creepy. Another study said that 20% of Gen Zers say that a man approaching a woman sometimes or always constitutes harassment. So you have a world in which women are scared of being approached, men are scared of doing the approaching, people will judge many men, at least 1 in 5 men that do that, as being harassers. But everybody understands that if the guys don't make the first move, nothing's going to happen. If guys do make the first move, they're scared of being Me Too'd. Girls are scared of being approached by guys that they don't know, but also still know that they need the guys to make the first move 86% of the time, because that's the percentage. I was like, isn't that fucking interesting?
Yeah.
You know what though? I actually thought about it for quite some time. I feel like the dynamic is going to change again soon as well, because the Me Too movement is kind of like, I don't know, the effect is wearing off. I don't see it being as big of a movement anymore, because a lot of people coming up with stories that actually say, no, don't believe all women. This is very irrational, because you might destroy another like innocent man's life, right? Which is, yeah, again, you have to approach every situation critically, right? And dissect each case separately, and don't lump them all into one case. So we can remember Johnny Depp and like Amber Heard kind of situation, which was really big a couple of years ago. Not a couple, around like, no, actually, yeah, it's been 2 years, I think. But
Maybe
anyways,
even
it
more.
just maybe even more, yeah. So it makes me believe that well, some trends travel around the world at a certain speed, right? A different speed, actually. And I think in Kazakhstan, we very much need this Me Too movement, in my opinion. But in the West, I feel like it's like kind of becoming almost the opposite, which I'm also afraid of, because I don't want there to be, like, again, another bias, like taking over the original bias. So yes, but I guess it's our nature to create both extremes.
Yeah, I think I get your point. So basically, yeah, we are living in the time where the harassment was okay for the longest time, harassment
Mhm.
and everything, like rape and stuff. The horrible things that no one will tell, no one will like deal with, even the police. We still have these cases when police is like,
Yeah.
come on, maybe like you
Don't.
yeah. So they are not believing, they're not seeing this as a problem, even it's like very traumatizing. They're like, come on, just get over it, it's fine. Like,
Mhm.
or they don't want to like make the bad reputation for that man who did this. So
Mhm.
it is logical that in this like state, right, we will have these movements. People start to getting afraid for being like harasser. Previously, like no one cared. Okay, I can approach. No, it's like nothing, not a big deal. Now they're like getting this awareness. And I think when more people will get this awareness, and when it will like get properly criminalized, and when it will like properly get investigated and stuff, as you said, the trend will switch. People will not
Yeah.
like are going to get afraid all the time. It's just now maybe they're seeing lots of news, or maybe yeah, because of this news, women maybe they afraid more. Men they afraid to be like blamed, and women just get afraid because they see so many cases happening like right in the corner, and you're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
and could it be me like next?
In spaces where there are security cameras, some people just don't really care. There was a story in Kazakhstan where a woman was literally stabbed next to like her doorstep, like her actual house. And it's a crazy world that we're living in, but yeah, I think of course like there are certain steps of achieving a goal, right? And the goal is to absolutely criminalize this kind of cases, this kind of behavior. Make sure that these predators, right, they're facing the rightful consequences of their actions. And how we achieve it is to like raise awareness of these situations, not try to like limit the information, block it, free speech and everything. I'm always for that, because what my concern is with this trend is that you know, like of men like not approaching women anymore, is that the harassers will keep approaching, like the potential harassers, because I don't know, it never stopped, like this weird looking men who had a very nasty behavior, like from approaching me in some like public spaces. And it really upsets me that it's not getting into their head because they're already messed up, right? But I do really want it to be taken far enough that it starts affecting them and their mentality as well.
Yeah. So that they would, even if they're scared, it's better than them making the wrong like stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So so we might agree, like, so that it might be true. We already like explained the possible logic behind why this approaching is like getting less and less. So it might be true. Maybe not exact these numbers, but still. And the thing is, like, if you're wondering, like, what the hell am I gonna do? I think that of course it feels good to be to like get up to
get approached, hit on.
To get approached. Sometimes it might be even empowering if you will do it yourself. Sometimes if like if you just see like, okay, I can embarrass myself only for this case, just go for it. Do it.
Yeah.
Well, because what's the worst thing that could happen? Nothing. He will just it's the person that who doesn't know you at all. You might not see him ever again. So it just nothing happens. You'll just say like, okay, bye. Like he says no, you say bye. That's it.
This is a silly thought, but when you said that what's the worst that can happen, imagine you're approaching a harasser.
Oh my God, that would be the
Oh my
worst.
God.
Yeah.
Yes, I would be mortified. But yeah, no, really there are risks on both sides, and I encourage both men and women to still approach each other, like be genuine, be nice. Yeah. There was a Reddit story I read a long time ago. I don't think I will find it ever again, but there was this guy saying like, guys, like, how do I date? Like, my game sucks. I don't know how to like deal with women. It's so difficult for me. Like how to date. I'm so lonely, and etc. And then the commenters were asking like, well, how do you approach women? Like, what do you do? And etc. And basically they concluded that he is being too socially awkward, and it's making those women very uncomfortable with his behavior. And he genuinely might not have had a malicious intent behind his actions, right? But it's just the way he does the thing. And yeah, we live in a society where certain behaviors are acceptable and certain are inappropriate, right? And maybe he was kind of crossing this line and getting towards the inappropriate actions, or just something that made him look a bit weird, you know. And I really empathetic towards these people, but will I be impressed by this kind of a person approaching me? I don't think so. I think I will also feel really weird. But it just says that the commenters were actually really sweet, and they basically advised him to maybe start with having friends and not getting straight into dating, because apparently this guy doesn't have any friends at all either. So yeah, this is really sad. I don't know how to deal with this kind of problems. But again, social media is the evil, internet is the evil. I've been like, you know, a granny now, like a boomer. Technology is
In
evil.
our time, it wasn't like this. The grass was
Exactly.
greener.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To that point, I think I've heard some thought saying that like relationship is something related to that the relationship is not only about you. That's why two people have to like work on themselves and on their relationship as well. That's why maybe it might sound a bit stupid, but maybe he's not ready for the relationship, because it is some kind of, it requires some level of commitment. And if you are like dealing poor if you have poor management of yourself, how can you like be with someone and not mess them up? So basically it's getting more complicated once you like go across. It's not only about you, it will start to be not only about you but for other person as well. And dealing with them is even more complicated. So maybe it is better for him if he will just like work on himself. Yeah, get these like social skills and stuff. You can do this, and then you will just solve this. If it's the only problem that's stopping him, that it's great. It is it's like solvable. How can you say it? It can be easily solved. So that's you just have to work on it, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so nice. You can always learn. As we said before, we weren't also like all perfect. We're not perfect, right? We also made our share of mistakes along the way. And it's just a journey, a lifelong journey of trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. And there's no shame in that. I really, really like that the people in the comments were really nice to this person, because again, it didn't seem like he was bitter, you know, he was angry or entitled, like giving off this incel vibes, but he was really just yeah, unhappy about his situation. So yeah.
We can also watch the funny videos you sent.
Okay.
And, oh, hi, how was your day? And I think, fuck off. What are you talking about? How was my day? My day has got absolutely nothing to do with you. And, oh, hi.
So relatable.
That's true. But really, I've deleted all the dating apps. I'm always like on and off. But I think to me, I just kind of realized for now, again, not saying never, like never say never. For now, I realized that I don't need it. Because really what I tend to do in the dating apps, I just swipe, close the application, and then come back a week later, and I see all the expired matches, and then swipe, close the app. I don't even talk to those people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I have seen some opinions saying that why like you get these pink glasses, why you stop like thinking rationally when you start to like have a crush. It's because you have to shut down this rationality in order to, because otherwise what's the point of getting to know completely like new person in your life? Like why you have to do it? There's no reason for it, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work and you don't want to do it, and it's the rational part is saying you this, but when you like have a crush, it gets shut off and you're like okay, and you start to going for that. And I think this logic, I can see this happening, and I was like, interesting. Maybe it's really how it works.
And it's like, you know, maybe this is a stupid analogy, but it's like let's imagine you bought some candy. You really enjoyed the candy. You can't stop thinking about the taste of this candy, right? But the fact that it's not easily accessible to you makes you long for this candy even more, right? And all of your emotions, they amplify even more, right? But when you see all the other candies that can be equally as delicious as the first one, you think, but I already enjoyed the other one. Why is not here on sale? I cannot find it anywhere. So I don't know if it makes sense, but to me, like that's how I would simply put it, the situation.
Yeah.
Having a crush.
Yeah, and also like really I don't see myself like starting all over again, like getting to know some completely new person. Like can we not please?
Yeah, because you have to invest your time and emotions, right?
Yeah.
In case of candies, you have to buy it, so you spend your money on it, right?
Yeah, that's why that video was so relatable. Oh my God.
That's true. Okay, and this one.
5 reasons why real men are better than fictional men.
Claire de Lune.
Yeah. Her makeup's beautiful though, by the way. Yeah, very relatable. Maybe that's why I didn't spend much time on the dating apps, even when I had them, because oh my God, I had so many fictional men in my phone that I could just read about and look at. Yeah, especially when you read those like Korean comics. Yeah, the male leads there are just, you know, some of the most perfect men that you can never find in real life. Oh my God. Yeah, you really get the Lulu fawning over
Yeah.
fictional men
They will
and
set your
expecting
expectations so high, and you're like,
astronomical levels.
is it even possible? How come?
Mhm.
Like, they're so good in every possible like way.
Exactly. You know, like our friend Dalia shared like about this new Korean drama. Like it's really popular, and I read the manhwa, the comic, the original source material, and the male lead in that, it's like he is perfect, right? And but the female lead, she's also real. She represents a lot of like real women. She might be smart, but she also makes some mistakes and etc. She can feel frustrated. And the way this man like rationally and kindly and nicely responds to everything she does, it's just heartbreaking. I can't explain it. There was this part, maybe it's
Maybe
gonna be a
heart melting.
spoiler. Heart melting, yeah. Exactly. It's just so wholesome. It's gonna be a spoiler, so spoiler alert, but when basically they had a baby together, and after the woman gives birth, obviously it's a lot of again hard work to take care of a newborn, right? He cries, like you don't know what the child wants. And of course, she got irritated in most of the situations because she was exhausted, and sometimes she lost her temper and took it out on her husband. But the way he handled those situations, he never got mad at her. He was like, okay, I'm gonna give you some space. He would just wait silently until she gets back to normal because he knows that she loves him too, right? And then she would apologize for making this mistake. And it's just a healthy way of having a relationship. And that's what I aspire my relationship to be. But unfortunately, these people are truly rare. Like they're like a
Yeah.
unicorn.
I would be mad if I would if I would be in his place, I think.
Yeah,
I would
because it's a
say
lot to
stuff.
handle.
Yeah, I would say like,
Mhm.
I don't care what you're going through. Stop yelling at me.
Yeah, it's the emotional resilience, right? Again, to
Hey,
be
you have to be really powerful to handle
Mm.
that.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, that's what I see in a lot of women in Kazakhstan, actually.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, like just switch the roles, and that's what they do for their husbands most of the time.
Yeah. So I think we can wrap this up. So basically, we covered some stupid arguments, some arguments that might work. We also tried to explain you how you can like break the everything you hear. You see that it shouldn't be just the argument. Everything people say basically is an argument. You can break this to the logical chain, like the steps, that explanation they have. You can see that each point they might be questionable itself. You can like hit this point, like say, if it's not working, then the rest is not working as well. You can like think about different groups of people that it might be applied this logic to. It might be different actors, stakeholders, and stuff. So hope it was helpful. And We also, yeah, talked about lots of gender stereotypes. I think, made it more clear. I think it was already clear, but in case if you forgot or anything, these gender stereotypes are so like vague. They're so like saying feminine energy this, masculine energy that, but in real life, we all have both of these traits. We shouldn't be like more like submissive, I don't know, to be more feminine. If you're like taking charge, take this charge. No one should stop you. And yeah, and don't let like these definitions, even from this, what is masculine, what is feminine, we see that it's coming out of nowhere and out of some beliefs that already got outdated a long time ago. So we basically see that it's not true anymore. We see that it's not like applicable anymore. So yeah, we hope to see you next time with some other different interesting topics. Maybe we can also talk about argumentation, because I think it's fun, it's interesting. Yeah, so.
I was going to say at the beginning that it's gonna be like a free like a master class, a lesson on argumentation, because the way Dana breaks down everything is like really cool. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, just agreeing with everything Dana said, and yeah, see you again sometime again. Like, comment, and all this different stuff. Subscribe. We really appreciate your support.
Yeah, bye.
Bye bye.